Welcome to the Retro Blood.
Welcome back, everybody, to
the
Retro Blood. As we continue this look into little creatures from the outer space coming to the land of apparently just America. They don't go anywhere else. A land of America, just to hatch their alien eggs and to drink soap, water, and eat beans and blow up people's houses, because we are continuing a look into the entire series, not the new stuff, but just the old stuff, of Critters.
Critters.
Up next, if y'all like Leonardo DiCaprio in a role that he denounces because he's too cool nowadays. If you like Charlie coming back and no selling that he's the sheriff, because that didn't happen apparently, and he's just some crazy man who looks in the house and dungeons. If you like a dad who is usually the most useless dad in horror history, has to be. He didn't do jack shit in this movie. If y'all like PG-13 horror films that are like an episode of like Nick at Night or Nickelodeon or something, then this is the home video release for you, because we got kicked out of theaters because we did shitty last week for Critters 2. This is the home video release. And
Critters
the first movie to spawn one of the greatest acting careers of all time. Critters 3.
Yeah. So you're saying he didn't...
Yes.
You're saying he denounces this movie?
Yes, I have a quote. Yes, I have a quote.
So awesome. So that means he's not going to sign my Critters 3 Blu-ray if I meet him in public.
I would. You know, I wouldn't give a shit. I'm like, here you go. I fucking hate that, bro. I don't care. This is the one I know you from. Even though that's
the one I know you from.
Even though that's what. First of all, J.H. Alison, James Kline. What's up, everybody? We're here. All right. Speaking of Leonardo DiCaprio, though. All right.
Yeah.
So, what movie did you find him in the first? Because mine was kind of funny. So the first movie I ever saw him in, and I hope my memory is being correct on me during this time, but wasn't he in like the Romeo and Juliet?
He was.
Yes.
Yeah, he played Romeo.
Yes.
Yeah, in Romeo and Juliet. Yeah.
The first time I ever saw that guy was in that movie, and I believe they played that movie in school. Like we did like a couple, we did like a couple of days watching that fucking movie in school. So that's my first foray into Leonardo DiCaprio. You know, obviously, like I think one of the favorite movies he's done that I like is the Django Unchained. You know what I mean? I thought he did a great job in that film. Shutter Island, which is like his only horror film besides this one. If you don't.
No, we'll count this one.
We're gonna count this one, brother. All right. So, and he's still rocking today. You know what I mean? Obviously, one of the biggest stars in Hollywood. I didn't see his new movie though, but I heard it was pretty good. One Battle After Another. I got told to watch it. I heard it was pretty good.
Yeah, I need to watch it. It's on HBO now, so I need to watch it. But I didn't go to the theaters to see it because it's like 3 hours long.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, but he is definitely one of the. I remember him in the '90s, man. He was definitely a breakout actor of the '90s. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the 2000s and stuff. Like he rose pretty quickly. Like I said, I remember seeing him after Romeo and Juliet, and I'm pretty sure that's the movie that like kind of sparked a lot of his stuff. I mean, I don't know his whole career. Like I just know like certain things about him, but that's the movie that kind of sparked for me. But he still is not like our boy Johnny Depp though, who was probably had the greatest start. I mean, if you think about it, man, like out of all the huge actors, they're legendary actors, of like not like 50s or 60s and stuff, but out of like the more modern like 80s, 90s and stuff, who had a better start than fucking Johnny Depp, bro? He was in Nightmare on Elm Street. I mean, what a lucky role. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, not only was he was also in a quality movie too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he was also in a very, very quality movie. So. So Romeo and Juliet's where you know him from.
Yes.
The first place I ever saw him was in What's Eating Gilbert Grape.
Okay, yeah. That's like a comedy,
right? It's kind of a comedy. Yeah, it's like one of those feel good kind of comedy drama movies.
Yeah,
that was like 2 years after this movie.
Oh, okay.
So, and then he was in Basketball Diaries, which is a movie I really liked, where he played Jim Carroll. And then the movie that I really like him in is The Beach.
Yeah, The Beach.
Where he played Richard.
Yeah, that's the one where he was fucking that girl in the lake, right?
Exactly. And then him and these two French kids go and find this island in Thailand where all these people live away from society. Yeah. That movie's really good.
Yeah. Yeah, like you said, like his career, man, that Leonardo guy, his career, like when I remember him as like a kid, he was always famous. You know what I mean? Like he rose pretty quickly. Like for a young actor. For sure. Like, I mean, very quickly, man. Like it was like almost overnight. Mm-hmm. It was crazy, man. So, but we'll talk all about it. So we got some fun stuff. So this is our of all the movies in the decade of the 90s to pick for your first movie. That's totally a retro blood thing where we pick Critters 3, brother, of all fucking movies.
Yeah, of all 90s movies, we didn't pick Scream or anything like that. We picked
golly, there's a fucking plethora of lists we could have done. But we got to start with Critters 3, man, you know, because we just decided this year to add in some 90s movies. Just kind of spice things up a little bit, you know what I mean? Have fun over here because, you know, we were talking, it'd probably take us like, another 5 years to even get through the 80s catalog? You know what I mean?
Oh, at least. I mean, we're not even close. I mean, we're not, I mean, you know, we're just evolving a little bit. We're not changing too much. We're still doing all those 80s movies. We still got to go back and do our 80s zombie sequels.
Oh, like, most of our reviews are going to be like 80s like centric. You know what I mean? So like, you know, most of them are going to be from the 80s still. We might add in a 90s one here and there when it makes sense for that particular month that we want to do. You know what I mean? Yeah. But there could be a couple months where we just keep doing all 80s ones because we still got a whole big old list of them out there. So by the way, I think February is going to be a really fun month. We got like a lot of cool stuff for February. I'm pretty excited about it. But,
it's our Valentine's Day month.
I know. It's always a fancy
and we have we have a tradition for that, which we'll find out later.
Yep.
If you're a new listener.
It's a good fucking beer, man.
I love Martins, man. They're so good. They're so good.
We need a beer sponsor, brother. That'd be awesome. But we'll get one.
We need any kind of sponsor.
Yeah, I know. That'd be awesome. We'll get there. But let's get into it. Let's get into our first ever history of what was going on in the world of the pro wrestling and the metal music around a 1990s era. Because this movie came out. Let me see. I got my notes here. I believe it was in December.
Yep, I got December the 11th.
Yeah, that's what it was. December the 11th, 1991. All right. And brother, my knowledge about 90s wrestling is very surpassed 80s.
Yes.
I like when I found this happen around this time, I didn't even need notes for this story I'm about to tell you. I could tell it all off the top of my head because I know so much about it. All right. So I'll go first. All right. We're going to talk about what is going on in the pro wrestling landscape around the December 11th, 1991. And we are going to be traveling to the World Wrestling Federation around this time. So 91, and this kind of builds up to what's going on around the release date of Critters over here, home video style. We'll talk about that too. But around 1991, we had one Nature Boy Ric Flair has joined the World Wrestling Federation for being in Crockett. You know, we talk about Ric Flair all the time in Crockett. You know, we talked about Ric Flair in the NWA. Yeah. We talk about Ric Flair, you know, Mid-Atlantic. You know what I mean? All that stuff. You know what I mean? Territory guy. Territories are pretty much gone now. We only have one or two, baby, hanging around. We have two dominant forces. We have WCW, run by Ted Turner. All right, and we have the World Wrestling Federation, obviously run by Vince McMahon. You got to remember, everybody, that pretty much the territories, I mean, they're pretty much dead by 1989, 1990. All right? I think the only one we have going on is Memphis. Like, Memphis is still pretty good. And I think there's like a little bit of one in Florida that's still pretty much going on around this time. But Crockett has mixed with the UWF, which was Mid-South old territory. So they're kind of like combined over there. And basically the story is that Ric Flair he got into it with the manager. Okay, the pizza guy. All right. God, what was his name? Jim Herd. He got into it with Jim Herd. Jim Herd was the anointed president of WCW during this particular time, and his background was he was a pizza guy. He was like a big league with Pizza Hut. All right, and then they gave him the book of WCW at this time, and he had such great ideas, like the guys with the hump. So if they had like a hunchback on them, they would never get pinned. And and then like basically he kind of denounced Ric Flair as being like a big star. All right, he's like, well, we don't need you and shit. So Ric Flair's like, well, fuck, bro, I can go to New York. All right, I can take a vacation and go to New York, brother. All right.
Yep.
So that's what he does, and he goes to New York before dropping the belt. And Ric Flair at this time said like he's not gonna drop the belt because when he first got the belt in his possession, he had to pay like a deposit on it. It was like a $2,500 deposit to be the champion, and he wanted that returned to him before he relinquished. This is all from Ric Flair. You know, this is what he's told. I don't know if that's true or not. This is just what Ric Flair has said over the interviews and stuff.
Right.
So he didn't want to return the big gold belt because he didn't get that deposit. But then they wanted him to return the gold belt because that was WWE's property, and he can't be just showing it up on WWF programming, which he was doing. All right. So they eventually would do like a big censor box so he couldn't show the belt and stuff. I think one time he even used like a tag team championship to represent the gold belt. So this is to represent, like, Bobby Heenan brought Ric Flair in because Bobby Heenan was like, this is the real world champion, not that fake guy Hulk Hogan over here. So this was supposed to be a long build to have Ric Flair and Hulk Hogan go one-on-one at WrestleMania, which didn't end up happening at that time for a bunch of reasons. But during this time, this is also when the Undertaker debuted at Survivor Series 1990. Okay, got to go over really, really huge. And that brings us to Survivor Series of 1991. Okay, where it was Undertaker versus Hulk Hogan in their first match together. And this is the infamous Ric Flair slides the chair in the ring. Undertaker does the tombstone. We have the old "You got me, brother," where Hulk Hogan was supposedly like almost paralyzed from it, and he made Undertaker feel like shit for it. And then Undertaker was just like, I don't know, shit, I just fucking paralyzed the champ, the biggest guy in wrestling. And then like Hulk Hogan after that was just walking around like normal. So Undertaker was like, this guy fucking with me. You know what I mean? It's a whole big story. You guys can find it on YouTube. Undertaker tells the whole story of what happened with it. All right. And that brings us to this Tuesday in Texas.
Yes.
This is about 8 days before Critters was released on home video. And this Tuesday in Texas is basically the WWF's first attempt to do a pay-per-view back-to-back. Okay? So we had the Survivor Series November 27th, 1991. All right? And then almost a week later, they ran San Antonio, Texas to do this Tuesday night pay-per-view to kind of test the waters to see if they could do Tuesday pay-per-views. And guess what? It didn't work. The shit was low as fuck on the ratings. All right? Even though it was promoted to be the rematch between Hulk Hogan and The Undertaker, which you can find on YouTube. And it's actually a pretty good match. All right?
Yeah, because back then, Survivor Series was actually on Thanksgiving night, right?
Well, this one was on Thanksgiving Eve during this time.
Oh, so it's the day before Thanksgiving.
The day before,
okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, they had a couple on Thanksgiving, but that was more like an 80s thing. Towards the 90s, it was mostly like a Thanksgiving Eve one, I would say. But like this match right here is pretty fun. We have Ric Flair trying to interfere again. We have the president of the World Wrestling Federation, Jack Tunney, at ringside, trying to calm down the madness. We had Paul Bearer getting physical, which you barely see at all, but he's getting physical in this match. We have towards the closing, we have Undertaker getting launched into Ric Flair. Okay, hits the chair and everything. Hulk Hogan drops a leg. Then he wants to get Undertaker up before. No, he does the big boot and he doesn't drop the leg. He gets hit in the throat. And then we have Paul Bearer grabbing the urn. He's about to smash the Undertaker or smash Hulk Hogan with it, but he hits Undertaker instead. All right, and then Ric Flair brings up Jack Tunney on the apron, right, to have a look at what's going on. Really smart move,
right?
You can see Hulk Hogan open up the urn, Undertaker's urn, with a bunch of black ashes in it, and he takes the black ashes and he pours it into Undertaker's eyes like the true heel Hulk Hogan is.
Wow, yes.
And then he does that, and then he rolls him up for a schoolboy, and he pins him. All right? And so that's how Hulk Hogan won the title back from The Undertaker. Like, not even like, a couple days? You know what I mean? Like, not even a whole week.
Maybe 6 days. Yeah, it was almost a week, but yeah, not quite. Yeah, that's kind of crazy. And it's kind of funny that you would say that about him not, them not wanting to show the big gold belt on WWF television.
Yeah.
Because but a few years later, we would have that reversed where Bret Hart got screwed over because Vince didn't want to risk him showing the WCW belt on WCW television.
Yeah.
So, a lot of projection there because Vince did the same thing a few years earlier.
He basically did. All right. And he was also worried too about that time because the whole Medusa thing, throwing it in the trash. Yes, because
it had just happened. Yeah.
But yeah, you're right though. Like he originally brought the big gold belt to the television at first, and the WCW basically had to sue them to stop showing it.
Right, because they owned it
and to send it back. So also to close this out, since all the chicanery that happened at Tuesday Night in Texas that totally bombed, two things. First of all, Jack Tunney, the very next time they were on television, probably during one of those Superstars tapings, he stripped Hulk Hogan of the belt for all the chicanery. And what he did was he put the title up for arguably the greatest Royal Rumble match of all time, 1992 Royal Rumble. So that's the story of how we got to the 1992 Royal Rumble, basically.
Nice.
Right? So obviously Hulk Hogan at this time, he's probably more focused on movies, and he's basically on his way out. I mean, I think he would leave the WWF by like 94. And God, like,
for sure.
God, there's so much to talk about when it comes to like this fucking like 90s wrestling. I think 90s wrestling is like way more like interesting than the 80s one. And on certain aspects of it, of like how, like, how we were talked about in the 80s, like 1980 compared to 1989 is like completely different. You know what I mean?
Yes.
The same thing could be said for the 90s. 1990 and 1991 is vastly different than 1999. You know what I mean? And like almost every aspect. It's crazy.
Yeah, because, the 80s was still territory. So, everybody knew how to run their territory. The only person fucking it up was Vince, trying to take over the whole country. But in the 90s, all that was dead. So it was just wild. That was just a wild time where, the WWE or WWF then was trying to, gain as much strength as they could. And then, which they were really strong until the NWO, really. Yeah. And then they started going, kind of downhill after that. But yeah, and then WCW was on the come up at that point. They were still kind of struggling. They were losing a lot of people, Ric Flair, a lot of people, Dusty, a lot of people like that. But they were going to come back in a few years. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I agree with you. 90s wrestling is immensely much more fun to talk about than 80s wrestling.
Yeah, because...
And certainly 70s wrestling.
I think, like I said, we could do a long form conversation on that. But like 90s, there's like just so much going on in the ring and out of the ring. Now, does it mean that the 90s is better than the 80s? I think the actual in-ring wrestling in the 80s is way better than the 90s. But the 90s is like, it has so much like interesting stories. Like it's like the like WWF is coming off the hot 80s into the 90s,
right,
and then it slows down, like fucking just takes a nosedive. All right, when you hit like 93, 94, 95, because that's when everybody had like that. They had the job gimmicks, and then Vince McMahon's on the steroid trial and everything, and it's like fucking lame cartoon wrestling. And then once you hit fucking 1996, that shit goes up, man, and it just keeps going up and up and up until it hits the pinnacle. You know what I mean? With Austin, McMahon, the NWO, a heel Hulk Hogan. I mean, golly, 90s wrestling is that's probably my favorite. When it comes to like storylines and action, 90s is my favorite. 80s to me has like the better in-ring wrestling. You know what I mean? So
I agree.
But Alison, go ahead. You have a question?
No, I was gonna no, I didn't have a question. I was gonna say I was agreeing with what you're saying.
Oh, okay, I got you. I like it. But Alison, what do we got going on for 1990s metal? Because this is a big year for metal too. It is.
So this is probably not what you expected me to talk about, but I want to talk about this because I remember this vividly because we're back in my era now. We're in the early 90s.
Yeah.
So funny that you talk about Texas.
Yeah, buddy. I like it.
Because my story also takes place in Texas.
Yes.
Dallas, to be exact, your old stomping grounds.
Yes. Hell yeah.
And with that, this is another thing that I could, do a long form show on, but to set the stage for this. So we're in December of 1991. So it's the end of 91. It's the year that hair metal died, essentially. So this is the year Nirvana took off.
Yeah.
And then alternative rock grunge music was the thing from that moment on. But it hadn't quite happened yet.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they say it was 91, but I'm pretty sure that Nirvana became a big hit in 92 or very, very late 91.
Yeah.
But anyway, so that fall, all these bands released albums, right? All these famous 90s grunge bands released albums that were around the same time. The first Smashing Pumpkins album came out.
Oh yeah.
Red Hot Chili Peppers, Blood Sugar Sex Magic came out. Pearl Jam's 10 came out. Wow. Nirvana's Nevermind came out, all around the same time.
Damn. That's wild.
So in the fall of, or I guess you would say winter of 1991, the Chili Peppers, who were a popular band, but they were not nearly as big as they would be by the next summer, or certainly not as big as they are now. I mean, they're playing football stadiums now, but they were going on tour to promote their new album, Blood Sugar Sex Magic. Opening on that tour was the Smashing Pumpkins, and Pearl Jam.
Oh shit!
So it's weird to think that you would see
the
Red Hot Chili Peppers with Smashing Pumpkins and Pearl Jam opening. Now, this show took place in Dallas.
Sounds about right.
And I researched this show for about an hour because I could not believe this actually happened, but it seems to be the case. So they played at a place called the Bronco Bowl, which closed in 2003, I believe. It was apparently a huge complex. It had a giant bowling alley in it, but it also had a 3,000 seat concert venue, which is where the show took place. So the Chili Peppers obviously headlined, and underneath that was Smashing Pumpkins, and then opening the show was Pearl Jam. So Pearl Jam played their opening set, but then after that show, they went to a place called Trees, which is still there.
Yes, which I've been to many times.
Yes, so they went to a place called Trees that night and played a headlining set. So they played two shows in the same night.
Interesting.
But the thing about that is, like, this sounds crazy to think now because these bands are huge, right? But what you got to think about at the time is that most mainstream people had no idea who these bands were.
Yeah.
It's not because they were new, but unusual. What we would start to call alternative music was not popular. There was like, if you met someone who had heard of the Red Hot Chili Peppers, it was like, you'd made a connection with somebody. It was like, I can't think of I'm sure there's somebody, but I can't, like, it would be like us running into somebody that heard of Fulci.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, like kind of an underground sort of band that most people had never heard of.
Yeah.
But, it's just kind of cool to think that there was a time it was a much more innocent time when these bands were playing, you know, to these small crowds and these smaller venues with no barricades. And, you know, you would see 3 incredible bands like that would go on to be, you know,
megastars,
huge megastars. Yeah, megastars. All 3 of them are megastars. And part of that tour actually had Nirvana on it too, but they switched out for Pearl Jam later on because Nirvana got big all of a sudden. And it was really like overnight. Like all those bands were just like nobody's one day, and then the next day you wake up and they're stars. And it was just such a weird time that I remember vividly. You know, that winter of 91 into the summer of 92 was like incredible for music. But yeah, I don't know. You've been to Trees. The Bronco Bowl that's probably before your time, before you got to Texas,
I don't think I did that one. No.
Yeah, it's
Trees is good though. I saw my first ever concert at Trees.
Did you really? Yeah. So apparently it's like it's fairly small. It's a pretty small venue.
It's a smaller one. To us, it'd probably be like you ever been to the Eulogy?
Yeah, we went to Eulogy together.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. We saw that zombie movie. Yeah.
We saw Zombie there together. Yeah.
So it's a little bigger than that, but it's about that style.
Okay. Yeah, because from what
a little smaller concert venue, but it's cool. They've done a bunch of revamp. They actually used to have an actual tree in the middle of the mosh pit.
Right? Oh, really?
But they got rid of that. They
had to take that out, I guess.
They took that out, yeah. But they had it there for years and years and years and years. Because I think it closed at one time, and then they reopened it again, and then it was reopened without the tree in the middle. But there's like
it was apparently closed for 4 years.
Yeah, it was. They had like a downstairs area. Well, you would walk in. The stage would be on, like, you would walk through this little corner. The stage would be on the left. Mosh pit here at the front. There's like a bar that kind of like circles around. And there's like some seating in the side. And then the other side, kind of near the bathrooms, that's where all the merchandise would be. And then there was an upstairs too you can watch it at. But that's usually where the upstairs would usually be where the band would hang out. Because like there's some seating up there. But then right underneath the stage is like where the band goes in. I actually got to go there one time because my friend played at Trees many times too in his band.
Right.
And he actually opened up for Orgy one time. So I got to hang out with the whole band up there and everything.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's a cool venue, man. I see like tons of bands there, man. Like they still rock a good sound and everything, man. A good venue. My first show, if you're curious, was Gwar, Dying Fetus, and All That Remains. A little different, huh?
Ooh, that would be awesome.
So that wasn't like a '90s show or nothing. That was like what 2006 or whatever, 7. So yeah, pretty good though. Pretty good.
Yes, but so apparently it holds around 600 people now.
Yeah,
and I think that the capacity was a little bit less when Pearl Jam played there.
They opened. They also they done some renovations, and they also opened up a smoking section too. So.
No, okay.
Yeah, so it's a lot. It's not as big as like our Orange Pill that's here in Asheville. It's like a little smaller than that, but it does have like an upstairs art place too. But that's crazy. I know one of the big calling cards for Trees was it did have Nirvana play there in their heyday.
Well, there's actually a famous. I don't know this whole story, but apparently it's on YouTube.
Yeah.
There's a famous story about Nirvana playing there in October of 1991.
Yeah.
And they apparently there was some kind of incident where there were people like throwing things at the crowd, at the band. And I guess I'm not sure of the entire story actually, but apparently like Kurt Cobain got gashed on his head somehow.
Yeah.
And then they stopped the show and it was like almost a riot or something. But yeah, there's apparently yeah.
Texas brother. We want some real grunge, brother. Uh-huh.
But yeah, apparently they this is it apparently it was like security security started this. So they hired security because they sold too many tickets, essentially is what I understand. And then one of the security guards was like being too rough with fans, apparently, from my understanding. And then Kurt Cobain like jumped into the crowd and like started like attacking the security guard.
Okay.
And then they kind of got in a fight, and then it ended up stopping the show. But apparently there's a YouTube video of the show at Trees with Nirvana where he attacks a security guard. But yeah. I just want to bring that up though, because that was a really cool time. And now they're talking about the '90s.
Yeah,
it was just a really cool. Early '90s was just a really cool time for music. It was like it's nice awakening of something that wasn't hair metal.
Yeah, it's like a fresh sound, basically.
Yes, a fresh sound.
So pretty cool. We'll play some Chili Peppers, man. Old school Chili Peppers.
Yeah.
It kind of is crazy now because like now like Chili Peppers are like what, like the fucking car commercials.
Yeah, it's like dad rock.
Like fucking I know it's like dad rock and shit out here. Hey man, I got peppers, brother. Let me play it at my fucking golf tournament and shit. Like,
yeah, exactly. It's putting the CD player of the golf cart.
Even though that dude from Chili Peppers, he looks like a madman.
Well, I'm pretty sure they're all pretty much madmen, actually.
Let's go crazy. Like a melted crazy man.
Yeah, they used to be like really really out there, and like really wild, but now they're all like monks and Buddhists or something. I don't know. Yeah. But they're much more calm than they used to be.
And before we move on,
we all are.
And before we move on to tie into wrestling, obviously Smashing Pumpkins, Billy Corgan is the owner of the NWA that we talk about all the time.
Yeah, he is now the owner of NWA. Is that still a thing? Like, do they still have a show?
Apparently so, but nobody watches it, unfortunately. Just too much. It just too much shit has gone with them. I used to watch their show like when they first came on YouTube. It was really fun. It was a good show. It was a very throwback. That's what I discovered who Ricky Starks was.
Ricky Starks was. Well,
LA Knight was also on there too. LA Knight was on there.
LA Knight, as Eli Drake.
Eli Drake. They had the guy buff ass dude. I can't remember his name now. He was part of the Ascension on NXT. He's like the British guy. I think he's still there. So they got some talent, but it's just not it's not the same. It's just they couldn't really they couldn't get a TV deal. It got all messed up, and hopefully something will happen with them. I know they got some buzz when they had Tyrus on there because the guy's like a big political guy or whatever. And then they had EC3 with them for a long time, but he eventually quit. Nick Aldis was on there. Obviously, he's on SmackDown now. So it's just one of those things where, you're basically just like your own. You're just putting money into stuff. I heard though he does have wrestling matches during his concert set. That's kind of cool.
Well, yeah, he's been like really trying to promote the NWA. Like a friend of mine went and saw. So when me and him saw his Pumpkins together, they didn't have any wrestling, but at some of the shows they do have wrestling ahead of before the Pumpkins play, which is weird because they don't really.
Yeah, no.
I don't really see those two audiences crossing over.
Me either. Not at all. Like when I think Smashing Pumpkins, the furthest thing from my mind is wrestling.
Yes.
Some psychedelic drugs.
Yeah, I would think of that before.
I need some of those. I need some of those crate, like those spikes on them that make you all high. I need some of that when I go see Smashing Pumpkins.
Right? Exactly. Yeah. That would help for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah,
fun stuff though.
Here we are. Fun stuff.
When we do 90s one, we'll talk about it again. Like I said, our knowledge on 90s stuff is very fun. So every time you guys, when we do 90s reviews, you gotta know our history segment is gonna be a little bit longer because we know there's so much going on in the 90s. So
for sure.
But let's talk about who booked this shit, brother. Critters home video. All right, wow. Critters 3, brother. So this one right here, let me pull up my notes over here, is a direct to home video from. I thought this story was pretty interesting, so I'm gonna start with it. So this is a direct to home video from New Line itself. So New Line actually created a whole New Line home video department because with their old films that they used to do when they were doing like home videos, they would rent it out to different companies to produce their home video marketing and everything. Right. But they realized that if they created their own section, they can keep more of the profits. All right. And you all got to remember, you all got to remember, this is like 90, 91. I mean, VHS home video, at this time, it's probably the best secondary market for your content. Sometimes it's the best for your content at this time. You know what I mean?
It's the streaming of its day.
Pretty much was the streaming of its day. Yes. Because you would go to J.H. Allison's Rent-A-Center, a.k.a. Blockbuster, and you would go there and you would kind of like shop around, like, you know what I mean? Like you would go, if you like action movies or, you know, dramas or whatever, you would go down there, or especially with us, you go to the horror section and you would kind of see like, oh shit, that cover looks cool. Let me rent that. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like that. And obviously Critters, the first two had a theatrical release, so it does have an audience, even though the second one bombed ass. All right. But then the new line is, you know, they created their new line, direct to home video. And the Critters movie is actually one of the first movies that they released under that title. All right. And unfortunately, when we do direct to home video, it's kind of like streaming where we don't really know the numbers. So we don't know if this was a popular fucking movie or not. All right. My guess is no.
Yeah.
But
my guess is apparently it has a 0% rating on Rotten Tomatoes.
There you go. I mean, it wasn't like horrible. I mean, it wasn't fun.
Good. It was not as good as the first two. That's for sure.
All right. So this one was booked, okay, or directed by Christine Peterson.
Yeah, she worked on Chopping Mall.
Yeah. Now that was a fucking
but
good
she
movie,
was
brother.
She was like an assistant director on Chopping Mall.
Yes. By the way, you can find that in the archives. Chopping Mall, great movie.
Yes, great movie, great show. It was a good episode.
That was a good one too. That one is audio only, so we gotta dig in the archives. She also did A Nightmare on Elm Street 5.
She worked on that as well.
The Dream Title, which is also in our archives. Check it out.
Yes,
that one you probably got to go to Podbeam to go find.
I was about to say Podbeam. It's in the Podbeam archive.
She was the first assistant director. Okay, and it looks like, I mean, is this her first? No. It looks in my notes here. Her first director role looks like to be this movie called Body Chemistry.
Yeah, which is like an erotic thriller.
Yeah,
she made a year before this.
I bet it ain't no fucking Dario Argento erotic thriller like fucking
no.
What's that, Honey? The Devil's Honey, brother.
No, Devil's Honey. Yeah, man, that was great. That was a good episode and a good movie. That was great.
Everybody, if you're listening to us for the first time, you have to go back and watch that one. That's actually one of our most popular reviews of all time.
Devil's Honey.
But we got some good views on that one. I was like, everybody got to go watch back. That one is a great review. Check that one out in the archives. Golly, what a fucking movie. And did you notice, like, remember we went to go see Fulci with Cannibal Corpse? They were playing. Oh, no, you weren't at that show. My bad. When Cannibal Corpse came here in Charlotte, you know, stuff, obviously they had Fulci opening for them.
Yeah.
They clipped in scenes for the Devil's Honey. I was like, brother, you're killing me right now. Like nobody even knew those scenes but me. I was like, oh shit, there they are.
You should have said something to him. You would probably they would have been stoked you were the only person that would recognize Devil's Honey.
Well, nobody recognized my shirt. I wore the City of the Living Dead shirt. Nobody even fucking knew. That's a Fulci movie. That's one of his best Fulci movies.
I know. That's one of the best, most famous Fulci movies. Those people, they're all posers.
They're posers, brother. All right. Yeah. Speaking of posers, we have screenplay by David J. Skull, whoever the hell. Oh, this guy. Well, apparently he did Leatherface, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3.
Yeah, The Crow.
He did The Crow?
Apparently so. So this guy's beat a few people.
How the fuck do you write? Hold on. What the hell did he do? Okay, he did the screenplay for Critters 3. Then he did stuff on The Crow.
Yeah.
That's vastly different.
Did he write The Crow? Or did he? Sure.
Let's see. What
does this guy do?
So David James Scowl, I don't know if I said his last name right, is an American author of horror novels, short stories, and screenplays. Yeah. His credit includes films such as Leatherface, like I talked about, The Crow, and The Hills Run Red.
Yeah, so he wrote the script for The Crow with John Shirley.
Yeah. Oh shit. Wow. That is vastly different in your category.
That is vastly different.
That is almost as vastly different than this guy, DiCaprio.
Yeah.
I wonder if our boy David remembers Critters 3 as one of his high achievement. As
a high achievement, I don't know about that, but I bet he does remember it. But you were going to ask why he wrote this, and it was because the check cashed. That's why.
Well, it's New Line, brother.
New Line.
You know, they had money at the time. That Friday, Nightmare on Elm Street, brother, was kicking ass.
Yeah, they still had that Nightmare on Elm Street money, and they wrote him a check, and he cashed it, and then he wrote Critters 3.
So there wasn't like a whole lot of like behind the scenes of this movie. Like we don't have like no director drama. We don't got any of that shit that I could find. Let me go to my notes over here. So this is the only kind of like notes I got from the movie. All right. So Leonardo DiCaprio, which we talked about many times right now on this show, he played Joshua.
Yeah.
The little boy that had his stepfather that was trying to take down and evict the nice little Southern couple out of their houses so we could build a mall.
Yeah.
By the way, his stepdad, like, was that Lenny Poffo?
He looks like him.
And he sounds exactly like him, brother. I was like, what the fuck is going on here? So, apparently, Leonardo DiCaprio has commented on this movie before.
Oh, nice.
And he says, I admit, I've done a few lousy roles at the beginning of my career, like my role in Critters 3. But at that age, you'll do anything for attention. I could dig that. You know what I mean? I wonder how he feels about it now. Probably doesn't even remember it now.
So he was older than you think. He was 17 years old or something when he made this.
Oh, really?
Oh,
he didn't look that old.
He was born in 74.
Oh, okay.
So in 91, so in 94 he'd have been 20, so he was about 17.
Interesting.
But you're right, he doesn't look that old in that movie.
Yeah. And
this movie, I mean.
And two things. So he also was in this movie, but he's not in the fourth one. All right?
Yeah. No.
Even though this movie, Critters 3 and Critters 4 that we're going to be doing next week were both shot and filmed at the same time to save budget.
That doesn't surprise me at all.
And I'm thinking like, damn. Like you already know that you're getting like a guaranteed sequel. Like that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like I think more films should kind of like do that. You know what I mean? Like if you know you're going to be like getting like a sequel, like for sure, you should film at the same time because I feel like if you film at the same time, like the story kind of flows a lot better.
Well, yeah, and it doesn't take as long to get the next movie out.
Yeah.
Like not a lot of movies do that now, but the movies that do, I think it works really well when you shoot both movies simultaneously.
Yeah.
You know, an example of the opposite of that is Dune. Because remember they made Dune Part 1, and then the film company wanted to wait to see if it did well enough before they did Dune 2, and it took them 3 years to make it.
Yeah. Well, with like big budget shit like that too, it's also going to take longer because of all the CGI shit.
Well, of course,
putting all that bullshit in there. So Terrence Mann is kind of back on this film.
Yeah.
He was at the ending credits, which, did you see those ending credits? I know did you watch it on Tubi?
I watched it on Tubi, yeah.
Like, doesn't it, like, I had to, like, rewind it and, like, stop Tubi from just ending it and going to another film.
Right. They don't like credits. They just go straight to the next movie.
So this movie was, it was actually one of the first movies that had, like, a ending part after your credits were done. So
wow, I didn't know that. So mine went to the next movie.
So the Marvel Universe can thank Critters 3.
Yeah, because Critters 3 invented that.
I don't know if they invented it, but they were one of the first movies to do it. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the credits, we have Charles, not to spoil the movie or whatever, he basically talks to Ugg. All right?
Mm-hmm.
So, that's how Ugg was in there. He's at the very end. All right?
Yes.
We have Cary Elwes turned down the role of Josh. So just imagine, this could have not been Leonardo DiCaprio's first movie.
Yeah.
And like we said before, Billy Zane previously appeared in the first Critters, and both Billy Zane and Leonardo DiCaprio were both in co-star of Titanic, 1997 together.
It's crazy how people are connected like that.
Yeah. Not even like 6 years later, he's already doing one of the most famous. That was a big movie too that Leonardo DiCaprio was in. Titanic. That was another one I saw.
It's one of the biggest movies of all time. Yeah.
Damn. Like, can you believe this guy's career? I mean, fuck.
He's a huge actor. He was also in The Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah, that was a great movie. He's a little old. He's a little older during that time, but that was a great movie too.
Yeah. And Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So, we had a couple of pretty good actors in this movie too. Let me put my notes over here. So we had Annie, all right, played by Amy Brooks. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
She was kind of like known a little bit for more like television roles. All right. But she was in a film that I reviewed when you were on sabbatical. Sorority House Massacre.
Mm-hmm.
Check those out in the archives, boy. You want some 80s sleaze and cheese? That's where that is all from. I mean, it's most of her career, to be honest with you, was mostly like television shows, I would say. She was in, later on when she was a little older, she was in Criminal Minds. You know what I mean? Brooklyn Bridge. Saved by the Bell. You talk about 90s, brother. That was full. I watched every episode, man. Saved by the Bell.
Oh yeah,
I was a huge fan.
You seem like you would be. You seem like a Saved by the Bell kid.
Slater, bro. He should have got that chick, not that fucking pussy Jack or Zach, whatever his fucking name was. All right. So we have Clifford, played by John Calvin, another television actor guy. You gotta remember, 90s. You know what's really interesting about the 90s too? And if we start, exploring more horror movies, they're like half the cast from horror movies in the 90s were all in Star Trek, Deep Space Nine. That's
true.
Like they all just popped up in that fucking Deep Space Nine Star Trek, like 1,000 of them. All right, it's hilarious. Yeah, there's and also too, X-Files would have a little bit of people on there too, like the old lady. Who was the Mrs. Bingers? That old lady and the old guy. That old lady, she was in X-Files. She was in like one episode of the X-Files, but she was also in Happy Gilmore. That's the old lady from the Happy Gilmore.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
I didn't even think about that, but you're right.
Yeah, so she was on there. We got I don't want to forget. We have a pretty good little cast over here. Let's see. We got Jeffrey Blake, who played Frank. The guy. Oh, I'm the Founds guy. That guy.
Right.
All right. We had Jeffrey Blake. He was the guy that I could not believe this when I read it, but he was that fucking that radical guy who took Jenny to be like
Forrest Gump.
On Forrest Gump to take her to the radical side and do a bunch of drugs while our boy Tom Hanks was trying to get her back. He was the radical dude. I was like, how come we didn't have this the New York accent during that movie? It's only this one.
I know.
Oh, look at me, brother. Oh. And then this guy also too was on where's this from? I gotta find on my list. He was on another pretty good show. Golly. Yes. Here's the one I was thinking about. He was, like I was saying, he's another guy that showed up on Star Trek Deep Space Nine. He played Arjun on the episode Playing God.
Yes.
All right. So, yeah, like I said, when we do a lot of these 90s movies, there's a lot of character actors that are going to show up in some of our favorite shows, like Star Trek, X-Files. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean those
Saved by the Bell.
Star Trek shows, right? The Star Trek shows in the 90s, there was at least 2 or 3 going at all times.
Yeah, I believe.
So sometimes there were two episodes of Star Trek a week. Voyager and Deep Space Nine, and Deep Space Nine and Next Generation ran at the same time. So you had anybody who was a kind of a character actor that worked on television was going to end up on those shows. Deep Space Nine is a great show. If you've never watched Star Trek Deep Space Nine, people out there, you should watch it. It's really good.
What happened?
It's slow at first. You got to get to season 3, but once you get to season 3, it's fantastic.
Golly, we used to be a proper country. You know what I mean?
We did. Yeah, you're right. We did.
Golly. Not fucking 90s, bro, was fucking great. Like, that's a great era. Like, there's so many great TV shows, great music, great wrestling.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like the 80s is known, you know, for like nostalgia part. But to be honest with you, 90s is right up there. It's like it has a lot of nostalgia to it as well, too. Especially nowadays.
Yeah.
I think a lot of like, you know, younger kids now, or like maybe they were like born maybe towards like the tail end of the 90s. I think they look fondly back on the 90s compared more to the 80s. You know what I mean? Like, you
I agree. I agree with that.
Me and you were born in the 80s, so we kind of like we know a little bit more attachment to it. But I would say I've known more of my childhood is probably more in the 90s than anything. So
yeah, I agree. And one thing I really miss most about those times, it's going to be something you don't expect. Everybody watched everything on television at the same time.
At the same time.
You know, there's
we have to worry
about
spoiler shit. Yeah.
Yeah, you have to worry about spoiler shit.
Yeah.
Because if you didn't watch it, then you didn't see it at all. Because it only ran one time.
Unless you recorded it on your VHS. If you had,
well, that's true. Unless
if you had the VHS that we could record, you're good. If not, you're fucked. You're gonna have to go hear about it. So you got to be there live. That's true.
Yeah, we got to be there live. So when the X-Files came on, everybody watched it at the same time.
Yeah.
Because I think I've told this story before, but like I couldn't afford cable during the X-Files time, so I would go to a local record store after they closed, and a bunch of us would meet with the owner at the record store and watch X-Files in the store every Friday night. It was awesome.
That's awesome. Yeah, it was on Fox.
Yes.
Like I think it was Friday nights, right? Friday nights on Fox, I think it was.
And then it moved to Sundays, but it was on Friday nights at first.
Yeah, at first it was, so. But speaking of live, let's get into it. Let's get into Critters 3.
Wow.
Of all movies to do for our first 90s. If we're going to be looking back fondly on something, I don't think Critters 3 was in our book, but here we are.
It was yeah, here we are.
Let's do it.
After their first visit,
they're here. Oh, there.
You thought they were destroyed. But they returned.
And they're getting bigger.
After the second encounter, you thought the fuzzy devils were dead. But you were wrong.
You're not as smart as you think you are.
The critters are back. They've just rolled into the big city.
Oh, safe and home.
In search of new neighbors.
They're aliens.
Aliens in the base.
You have to believe her. They're big, they're huge.
Balls. And they're never late for dinner.
We don't have a gun up here or anything like that.
How about a meat cleaver?
What is eating him?
That.
Critters 3. You are what they eat. Open wide.
All right. So we start off with a nice little 90s family. Driving in the trailer. All right. We meet Annie. We meet young little Johnny, and then we meet the dad. All right. And they're singing a little song. I don't even know what song it was, but they're singing some song.
Yes.
All right. And the story with them is basically the mother passed away. So now the dad has to step up, but he's having a tough time because he needs to basically, like his job, he works at the train tracks. Now I'm not exactly sure what he did. Although they said he works at the train. Maybe he's a conductor or something. But he has to leave the kids for a good amount of time because his job, like he's a trainer, he's a travel. All right. Yeah. And I guess he used to just leave the kids to the wife until the wife died. So now he has to drive them out of town to like a family friend. All right, which is going to be the grandma from Happy Gilmore. All right.
Right.
So they're doing that. They get a flat tire. And
yeah, as you do.
In my own disdain, he got a flat tire right next to a rest stop, unlike when I get flat tires, which is in the middle of fucking nowhere. All right.
Right.
All right.
Wow.
How lucky
that was.
Yeah.
I don't want to revisit that.
I know exactly. All right. This guy's fucking lucky. Oh, the rest stop, you get to hang out. So they're at the rest stop, right? Little Johnny, he's playing his little frisbee. All right. And he gets stopped by young Leonardo DiCaprio, telling him, don't go in that fucking woods, you idiot kid. You're going to get hurt and shit. He didn't say it like that, but if he did, that'd been awesome. The 2026 Leonardo DiCaprio would have said it like that, but not this one. All right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's trying to take the frisbee away, and he sees it. He goes up to them. You could tell that Joshua, which is the Leo's name, is starting to smit a little bit. All right. And then he's basically saying, like, I was trying to protect you, little brother, from coming down and getting hurt in the bushes. All right. And then, like, you could tell they're going to be getting along. And then Johnny wants him to play the frisbee. So they play frisbee with each other. And the frisbee gets lodged into some branches. So they go up. Joshua takes the frisbee out of the branches. And out pops Charlie.
Yes.
Now, if y'all remember from last week, at the end of Critters 2, the main course, which apparently seems to be the only Critters movie that had like a subtitle to it.
Well, yeah, because now we already had the main course. So what is this? Critters 3, the dessert? I don't know. What's left?
Critters 3, please pay us some money back.
Please, yes.
All right. That's what this
Please rent the video from Rent Center.
Yes. Apparently, I remember he was supposed to be the sheriff of Grove's place now.
Yeah. Was it Grover's Bend?
Grover's Bend, yes.
Yeah.
But
or something like that.
Apparently, Grover's Bend is like no more for some reason.
All right? This doesn't take place there.
So Charlie now is saying they're coming to get us and stuff. He's acting all wild and crazy.
Yeah.
And no shit, he gives us a montage of the last two fucking films. I was like,
in case we didn't watch them.
I already have like PSD from Silent Night, Deadly Night 2, so I didn't want to see no fucking montage, but I was like, you gotta be kidding me. For our first night.
Yes, when I was watching it, I was like, are you kidding me?
Now, luckily, it wasn't as long as that one was. All right, but it was like a little shorter. But I was like, are you serious right now? Like, brother, this is the home video. We already know what the fuck happened. We're not gonna.
We could just rent them.
We're not gonna start with Critters 3.
No.
You know what I mean?
No,
like, I don't need a montage when you're the third fucking sequel, brother. Anyway, so he tells us the whole story. All right.
Yes.
And the kids are like thinking, like, Leonardo kind of had the best line. All right, tell Mars I said what's up. All right.
That's awesome.
And basically, he gives little Johnny like a crystal. And if that crystal turns green, there are no troubles around.
Right.
All right. So the kids are like, well, he's crazy, but he's like not harmless. You know, he's harmless, basically.
Yeah. Crazy, but harmless.
And Charles is basically saying, like, listen, like, you know, these things are out there and stuff. Just be careful for your travels. All right. So eventually the dad fixes his wheel. All right. And the dad was being talked to by Joshua's stepdad, who, if he's not Lanny Poffo, like, he has to be like a distant relative because he acted and looked just like him.
Yeah, he did. I agree.
And his gimmick is, the stepdad is, he owns a piece of property. All right.
Yeah. That
the two old couple that Annie and Johnny are going to, he owns that, and he wants to, and he basically is coming up with a deal with Frank to sell the property to make it a bunch of like a shopping mall and shit.
Right. Yeah. He wants to get rich off this property.
So, and another storyline going right now too is Annie is having trouble connecting with her father because the father is kind of distant ever since the mother died. All right.
Yeah.
So that's another subplot going on in this film. So they get back.
Many layers.
And also, too, another layer is Joshua. He doesn't really get along with his stepdad, but he tolerates his stepdad. Like, it's not like they're like like he hates the stepdad, but it's not like he's like, you know, like an asshole to him. And the stepdad calls him Sport. Remember that?
Sport.
It used to be a big thing in the 90s. They call everybody Sport.
I guess so.
Hey, Sport.
I guess so. Yeah.
All right.
Yeesh. Imagine that.
Listen, I
should try bringing that back.
I'm an old man now. I could start killing all these kids Sport. Just to piss them off.
Wow.
All
just
right?
to piss them off.
All right. So they're driving, and then now we can see that the alien eggs that look vastly different from the one from Alien.
Yeah.
The Krite. By the way, they didn't say Krite one time on here until the end. It was always critters.
Right. Yeah.
So we have the eggs. They're attached to the RV. Right.
Yeah.
So they're driving down the road. This is when Annie's trying to connect with the dad, but he's not doing it. Blah blah blah. This is when we meet Frank. Oh, he's from New York, brother. Oh, let's go. Oh.
Like Andrew Dice Clay. Yeah.
He pretty much was. And I can't believe he's faking that accent. Now that I know he's a fucking revolutionary guy from Forrest Gump, faking the whole accent. Right. He's trying to hit on the what's that girl's name? Starts with an M. Let me get it over here. Oh my god, my notes I was doing so good. He's hitting on Marcy. All right.
Yes.
So Marcy's big gimmick is she's like the Sarah Connor of Critters. You know what I mean? She can do anything because she works for the cable company. that was a direct quote from her on this movie.
Well, back then, I guess working at the cable company was that was a technological job.
Yeah. Now it fucking sucks.
Yeah. Cable company.
Is there even a cable company? Well, I guess there's still cable out there.
They sell us
direct
internet,
TV
at least.
Yeah. You got some. You still got some cable lines.
There are some. Yeah, some people still have cable boxes, I guess.
So she's helping get the area ready for the kids to come by, and this is when the dad, I guess, his brakes got all fucked up because of the eggs. So he runs his truck into the back of the other truck. And everybody starts freaking out a little bit. The Frank guy's like, oh, what the hell did you run your shit over here? Clean this shit up. All right. And then I guess he has to live in the basement now, Frank does. And then while all this happens, one of the eggs gets inside the basement area. Okay. So now we're having a bunch of different scenes. Frank's down there. Frank is trying to, I guess his plot line, besides selling Super New York, was like trying to like sell this whole place and call people out on shit. All right.
Exactly.
And he would hear like weird noises. We had the one of the tenant, the bigger lady, throw her underwear down, and he liked the underwear. I guess.
Yeah, I guess. Oh,
that was our. I guess that was our PG-13 or the PG-13 part of the movie. Was him liking her underwear?
That's the only thing I can think of that would make this PG-13. But yeah.
So we also now we're having Annie talk to Mr. and Mrs. Wagner, okay, and they're talking about the weird guy they found on the road, Charlie. They bring up Groves Ben, which the Mr. Wiggler was like, oh, I've heard of that before, okay. And they basically call Charles' story like wacko. Like he's a whack. Remember like the first movie is like a wacko? And this movie, everybody thinks he's a wacko again. I guess that sheriff badge didn't really like help any.
I guess not. Right. They didn't give him any credibility.
So they're talking about that. And then now Annie's still trying to connect with her dad. She's talking to her dad. And the dad is basically like, he's basically dropped the kids off so we can get ready for his job. Okay. And basically the kids don't want him to leave because, you know, they're trying to have a connection with the dad. So they don't want him to leave. Yeah, sure. But the dad's, you could see that he's very like sporadic. Like he doesn't really want to talk to the kids. He just wants to eat spaghetti and watch TV. But you know what? When you're an older man, I can't blame you, brother. You know, sometimes you just need to have a little relaxing time with all these naughty kids, all these sports everywhere.
Yeah, just watch TV and eat spaghetti.
Yeah. So during all this stuff, this is when we have our first kill. The critters attack Frank. All right. So Frank was on the phone call with the stepdad. All right.
Yeah.
And then he turns it off, and now he's like scaring the critters a little bit. But now he's in his basement area, and this is when we have one of the critters first attack him by the shoulder. He gets him out, but then the critters go for his belly. All right, so now we have two critters basically attacking Frank, and they basically eat him. So there goes him. Oh, he's gone, brother. Oh, come on.
He's gone.
Oh.
Too soon.
Too soon. Golly. Oh.
No.
So he's gone. And this is what Annie says. Do you hear that screaming? Like now. All right. And this is when the dad turns on the TV, and the TV blows up. Did you ever have a box TV blow up like that?
No, I've never seen that happen. But it happens in movies a lot, if you notice.
I mean, I've had box TVs. I've never had one blow up like that.
No, I've never seen that.
Well, if anybody ever had a blow up box TV, comment below. I love to hear about that.
And then let us know how you got it to blow up so we can do it too.
And I like he was like, bring the spare, and the spare was like this like little like TV with an antenna on it that just took like 2 AAA batteries.
Right.
We used to be a proper place, bro. We don't get any of that anymore. Now I got to bring my iPad, where I have to have fucking internet service to watch anything. This guy got he could bring that shit anywhere.
Yeah, he gives a portable TV. It's like the first TV I ever had was like this little black and white TV.
Yeah.
It was just like that. And you carried it around, and it ran on, I can't remember if it ran on batteries, but it was tiny and you could carry it with you.
So now Annie goes out. She's all upset and everything. She runs into the other tenant, the older lady. They're talking about they hear screams and stuff. They think it might have came from the basement. They don't know what Frank's doing. He's being all weird. All right. And now they so this is when the bigger lady, Rosalind, that's her name.
Yeah.
She goes down to the basement to see what Frank's all about and to collect her laundry. All right. And then now she's attacked by the critters. All right.
Yes.
But then she gets rescued by Annie. Okay. And so this is when we have this kind of like a cutscenes going on here at the same time. So we have Annie and Rosalind get attacked by the critters, and then we see the stepdad Briggs and Joshua driving in the car. This is when Briggs is trying to call Frank when the critters answer the phone, and like he's like, "I can hear you breathing on there." All right, and he's basically saying, "Go ahead."
I was gonna say one thing too is at this point you can tell that they've kind of lost the menace. The critters have. Now they're just cutesy little things that are funny.
Yeah.
This is like the Gremlins 2 of the Gremlins franchise, kind of.
Like, okay, the first scene where we see the gremlin was kind of cool because it was Frank, like in the furnace or whatever. You could see the little red eyes, but then you see the face. It wasn't as cool as the first movie when you see him, where Dee Wallace's character sees the red eyes through the window. That was way cool.
Exactly.
This one is like really cool. This is like this is what happens in third sequels of fucking movies. They become more cutesy.
Exactly. More kitty.
We're gonna have them drink soap and eat beans.
Yeah.
For some reason. All right, so they're basically on their way. The stepdad's like, "Hey, sport, you need to learn how to do this, and you need to come with me." He's like, "Why can't you just bring me home?" By the way, he's playing like one of those like Nintendo things. Did you notice that?
Yes.
In the car?
I saw that.
I used to have that shit. But there's no way he could see that shit in the car.
No.
Because that screen was dark as shit. All right? Don't think I didn't notice.
It wasn't even, right? It didn't even glow. Like it wasn't illuminated like a video game console.
Listen,
today.
I'm old enough to know that my, what was that thing called? The Genesis? It was something like that. It was like the little handheld thing. You had to have a special screen if you drive with it in a car to flash light on it. All right.
Yes.
And he didn't have that.
Because it was dark. It didn't. Because it didn't glow.
Trust me, I know. I used to play that shit all the time during road trips. All right. So he doesn't want to go, but the Briggs is making him go. They're basically going to evict everybody out of there so he can go build them all. Okay. So during this time, Annie and Rosalind, they get away. They talk to the dad, and they're trying to explain to him what's happening and stuff. The dad's not believing them at all because that's a horror movie thing to do. You don't believe what just happened. Until they finally go downstairs, all right? And when they go downstairs, that's when some of the critters attack, and they start shooting them with the little pins of their bodies.
Which I thought was kind of cool.
Yeah. And
that's the coolest part of this movie.
And they didn't really do that in the other movies, did they? I think they
did.
And like those ones,
I don't remember if they did that or not.
Because they basically, what they did was they made Rosalind and they made the dad like kind of high. You know what I mean? So this is when Jocelyn and Briggs get to the house, okay? And he's going through different rooms, and this is when Briggs turns off the power, shuts down the power to get them all out of there, all right? And they hear a TV going on. They're like, oh, shit, I thought we turned off all the power. He's like, yeah, I did. So they go up to the room where the TV was, the one that exploded. They have the backup TV now. And we can see that all three of the Krites are watching a cooking channel.
Jesus Christ. Well, what have we become? What have we become? Like,
that's a good show.
There was some menace to these things, and now they're all watching like a cooking show.
Yeah. So they're looking at him, and they look at him. They start freaking out a little bit. And then this is when Briggs told Jocelyn, sport one too many 2 times. Joshua was like, I wish you would die. And he closes the door on him. And of course, the critters attack the stepdad.
And then he does die.
While Joshua's going in there, and of course he dies. Now Joshua's freaking out, and he gets on out of there. All right. And now we have Rosalind and the dad. They're kind of fucked up because they have those pins and needles on them. And that's when Marcy kind of like gathered them all up there, the whole family and stuff. And now their plan is to get to the attic. All right.
Yes.
So a lot of these long scenes of them trying to get to the attic. Annie and the Mr. Wingler couldn't get to the attic because it's locked. All right. This is when we have Marcy come up with a plan to try to like skip the elevator because the elevator's not working. So she's trying to go outside, but then she trips and falls, and she gets caught on like a little wire. And so for half the rest of the movie, she's just swinging, trying to get the telephone while saying yes. Because remember, she could do anything because she works for the cable company.
Right, exactly.
All right. So now we see a bunch of cutscenes of the critters drinking soap and eating beans. I mean, just take my $2.50 rental, brother. I mean, what more do you need?
Why?
Why even have gremlins at all, brother? We have the critters.
Yeah, or why have a plot or a story or anything? Just this is all we need.
So they're being a little fuzzy and cute.
Yeah,
these crazy killers from the outer space destroying population, town, and land. All right, and one of them eventually starts a fire. All right. So this is when Annie runs into Josh. Okay, and they're like, "Oh shit!" Like, what the fuck are you doing here? It's like, well, he eventually breaks and tells Annie, like, "Hey, my dad actually came here to evict you guys. My stepdad did. I didn't really want to come along, but I didn't want to do it, and I did something really bad. I wished him dead, and he actually died.
And he died because these monsters killed him.
And of course, Annie feels bad too because obviously she's having a lot of like trouble with her dad, so they kind of bond a little bit over the daddy figures." All right, so now they're trying to get up to the roof some more. All right, and they come up with the plan to like, well, they notice that the fire is going on pretty crazy, so they basically have to like go down the elevator shaft. So Annie's gonna go first to try to get the elevator shaft to work, so she can go bring up everybody else down. All right, but when she gets down there, she's gonna get attacked by some of the Krites until Charlie comes and rescues her. He starts shooting them all up and everything.
Yeah, with his outer space weapons.
Yes. He does his outer space weapons on the Krites. All right. He's up there just getting some of the other Krites in there. They're attacking him. They eventually him and Annie go on the elevator, and then for some reason the elevator turns on, like it gets power, and it shoots them way up to the top. All right.
Yeah.
All right. And this is still, they eventually get the lock loose. So they all go on top of the building. Annie is screaming her life out. Help, help. There's a fire. Anybody, there's a fire. Hello. Is anybody even in this town? Like she says it for a good 5 minutes. Nobody ever comes.
Nobody's listening. Nobody cares that there's a fire.
All right. We eventually, after maybe like 15 minutes, hear the ambulance or the fire truck arrive. All right, and this is where some of the Krites are attacking him on the roof and stuff. Charlie, this is when we have Annie, and then we have Johnny. Okay, one of the Christs is about to Sonic the Hedgehog, basically Johnny. Okay,
yeah.
But then Charlie comes to the rescue. All right, but we also have another subplot of Rosalind having the hots for Charlie.
Yes.
She's like, hey, who did you bring that big stud to? Why didn't you tell me you had this friend? All right. And then, of course, Charlie, from being a wuss coward to being a space conqueror with the bounty hunters, taking care of intergalactic beings, he has now shown that he cares for the young children. He takes a bullet for Johnny.
Yeah.
All right. He knocks off the roof. Annie has to save Johnny with her strength of 10 men to get young Johnny up. Charles falls on the pole where Marcy, the cable girl, was hanging. They all fall into the trailer, RV trailer. Charles, of course, he's okay because he has body armor on. Marcy eventually gets out. I guess she's the one that called. I like it how we're led to know that she's the one that called the fire department, even though Annie was up there on the roof screaming her head off for 10 minutes.
Yeah, right? The other girl gets the credit for it though.
She gets the credit for it. So now everybody's relaxing. Now the last critter supposedly has been destroyed. Charlie tells young Johnny, "I can't stay. I have fine work to do."
Yes.
By finding these critters and destroying them. That was my mission. And look, your crystal is not green, so that means you're safe.
Yeah.
All right.
Safe enough.
We have the dad realizing that he could not work at the train station anymore. So he makes the critical bad move of working at the cable company that was that was prosper for until about 2015. So when do you think he got his severance package for the cable company? When did streaming start dominating everything?
Oh man, around 2016, 17 is where people really started streaming shit, and
maybe even before that, maybe even 2010.
Yeah, maybe definitely before that. But I mean, I say that because
what did you get?
I wasn't
20 years out of the cable company then.
Yeah, I was thinking because I wasn't really streaming a lot of wrestling at that time.
Yeah.
Yet, streaming was kind of a new thing to me at that time. I mean, streaming wrestling.
It's whenever Netflix started to do their thing. That's when streaming basically took over, which is probably around 2010, 2011.
Yeah, so 9 or 10, yeah.
So you're telling me he quit the train job, which is still a luxury job today, to work at the cable company. So basically, after about a decade, maybe 2 decades, 20 years, he got canned. Basically.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Unless maybe he learned how to repair, the internet or whatever.
That's possible. It's possible. So now, Joshua's mom, she appears at the very end of the film saying, "Hey, sorry about my ex-husband over there. He was trying to scheme you guys. But what I'll do is I'll pay for everybody's new house. Until you guys get back on your feet." They're like, "Oh yeah, we'll take you up on the offer."
Yeah, happy ending.
And it looked like the mom and the dad got hots to each other, which Annie and Joshua were probably like,
no, don't do that.
That might be a little weird. Might be doing some step kid action there.
I know, that'd be weird.
So then we go to Charlie.
It's an entirely different kind of movie, but yeah.
Exactly. We go to Charlie over here. And he's gone. Everybody's like, where the hell did Charlie go? He's down in the basement hunting down the last Krite.
Yes.
To save the Earth.
Because he's now a bounty hunter, remember?
Yeah, remember that. Well, he was a sheriff. What happened to that?
A sheriff. They forgot. He went back to space, I guess.
They forgot. I got you. So he's about to... It's really clever how they did this. He would walk and something would beep and then they would freeze the frame and then credits.
Yeah.
Then they would open it up. He would do something for a second. Freeze the frame, credits. Same thing. Freeze the frame, credits. He did like 4 times in a row.
Yeah.
Until he finds the last Krite egg. He's about to shoot it, but then he gets a message from the space council It's Ugg. Ugg gives him an emergency message saying, halt all activities. The Council of Space Intergalactic Beings is telling you that these Krites are now an endangered species. So the last remaining eggs, you have to take it with me and give it to us so we can put them in a cryo chamber.
Interesting.
And Charles like, what the fuck, Ugg? First of all, nice to see you. But he's also like, I thought I was here to destroy them all. He's like, well, that's our orders now. All right. And then we cut. It says, to be continued.
Yeah, and that's interesting because Critters 4 takes place in space in the year 2045.
Well, there you go. Maybe they got the eggs and we're going to be in outer space now.
Which is only 20 years from now.
Yeah. It's almost there, brother.
If you think about it.
Yeah. Well, time works different in space, man. You know what I mean?
That's true. In 1991, that was the far future. We'll have to worry about that.
Just think about it. You all can watch. Well, you can either watch Critters 4, a space adventure movie.
That's right.
We have Hellraiser 3 was in space. We have Leprechaun in space.
Yeah.
We have Aliens 3. There's a shit ton of like sci-fi alien movies in the 90s, brother.
I know.
I did not expect Critters to be one of them, but they are. This is the decade where we want to put everybody in space. All right?
Yeah, there's lots of space movies in the 90s. Yeah. They love that shit.
Some of them are pretty good. I like them because they're all cheesy. Most of them are pretty cheesy.
Right.
Besides the Aliens ones. Even though I think the Aliens 3 was kind of a cheesier one.
Yeah.
A little bit.
It wasn't terrible.
So, but we'll talk about them all, everybody. But Critters 3. There you go.
Yeah.
Home video.
Watch it. Yeah.
The first New Line home video release. There you go.
Ever.
Coming up strong. Well, I don't know if it was ever. I think that came out at the same year where they were doing that. I don't know for a fact if it was the first one or not, but it was in the same year it was in the release of the same year when they were actually a division for it. All right?
I see. Okay. I got you.
But everybody, thanks for joining us here on the Retro Blood. Come and check us out next week where we finish up the Critters series. Besides the web series and all the other shit we don't care about. We only care about the 80s and 90s ones. All right? We'll be doing Critters 4. And, of course, on the episode, we'll be telling you all what we're going to be doing for February. Which, if you've been following this show for a while, you have a good guess. It might involve some bloodsuckers.
It might.
If you know what I'm talking about. So. But, Alison, to get us on out of here for our first ever 90s review here on the Retro Blood, what Red Hot Chili Pepper song are we showing everybody for here? We're rocking.
Man, let's play something from 1991 from the year this movie came out. Let's play how about Suck My Kiss?
Oh. There's
Blood Sugar Sex Magic.
There's a lot of Suck My Kiss on this film, brother.
That for sure.
We got the critter sucking on people's blood. All right. We got Rosalind want to suck on Charlie all night long.
Yep.
We have the dad and Jocelyn mom. They were giving some eyes to each other.
Absolutely.
And our boy, the dad, he's about to have that big job at the cable company. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
That's like a 90s dream job.
Yeah. What else could you want?
Yeah.
Working at the cable company in the 90s.
Yeah, exactly. What more could you ask for, man?
Yeah.
All right. Than doing that. So kiss on that, brother. All right.
Kiss on that. Suck on that.
Yeah. All right, everybody. James Kline, J.H. Alison. We'll see you here next week for the Critters 4 in space.
Oh, it's got to be great. It's going to be great.